Okay, pretty short video. The Philippine Nursing Licensure exam is upcoming. Alam ko, madami sa inyo ang na-anxious and some of you might be watching this video before you take it. I have a lot of friends that will be taking the PNLE. So I want to make this video to not only share to my friends, but also to give you some sort of tips, but also I guess signs on how you're going to be okay sa PNLE. This is going to be the 7 tips or tricks or signs that I will be giving you in this video to prove that you can pass the PNLE and you will be fine. You will be okay. Okay, without further ado, first one is if you have a review center or my study materials ka, trust your review center, trust your study materials. It is already good enough. Well, most of us, ako personally, I enrolled in a review center, but some of us don't have the means to. And it's okay. As long as you have the study materials, you have a review center, I guess it's much better. I personally, during my time, I have friends that are in medicine na mismo. They are literally doing hell of a work sa medicine. While they're taking PNLE, nagre-review sila ng PNLE while on medicine. Like, bro, they are so smart. And like, as long as you do your reviews, you will pass. That's just how it is. So yes, I guess tip number 1 is having trust that you have your review center, you have your study materials. As long as you have it, you're going to be okay. Next one, tip number 2 is actually just applies to review centers. It's the pre-board scores. Super familiar nito yung mga nagre-review sa review centers, your pre-boards. Pre-board scores doesn't define you. It is not an indicator na papasa ka or hindi ka papasa sa nursing licensure exam. And that's okay if you have a low pre-board scores. I personally, I'm around 50% to 70%, probably 75% lang yung pre-board scores ko noon, and it gave me so much anxiety. But there's a caveat on what those pre-board scores means. So point 1 regarding dun sa pre-boards is during rationalization. I know guys, it's boring. Kahit ako din nabobore din ako. So during pre-boards, rationalization is quite common. Kung wala kayong rationalization sa review center, I don't know why. Parang wala naman ako narinig so far. But yeah, during rationalization, it is super important to know the reason why you get the correct answer kaysa sa you already got the correct answer. There's a theory in learning na if you get corrected in something that you thought was true, chances are mas tatatak yung info or yung detail na yun. So in rationalization, it's actually more advantageous sa taong madaming mistakes compared dun sa maliit lang yung mistakes. But that is only if you learn from your mistakes. So again, pre-board scores does not define your scores sa nursing licensure exam, but the caveat is during your rationalization, dapat alamin nyo bakit tama yung sagot and bakit mali yung mga sagot nyo. You have to think, you have to rationalize why it's right or wrong. It's more important to find out why the answer is correct. Okay, next step. This is going to be hurtful and madami matatamaan ng ego dito. This is me included during my reviews. Passing the board exam is different from reaching the top of the board exams. Sorry guys, if you're not putting in the effort, if palagi kang nag-a-absent sa review center nyo, I know, right? I can't comprehend. Nag-e-enroll sa review center tapos mag-a-absent or like mag-cheat during pre-boards. It's like, bro, bakit mo ginagawa yun? Binayaran mo yung review center para lang rokohin yung sarili mo. Why? But yes, it comes from the level of effort that you put into reaching the top or passing the board exam. I will be honest, during my review, it is harder to review compared sa actual exam mismo. No PNLE. I'm not saying this na madali lang yung PNLE. And I'm not saying this from a standpoint na, oh, grabe, genius siya siguro na madali lang yung PNLE sa kanya. No. My point is, it was harder for me during reviews compared yung actual PNLE na exams. As long as you're putting the effort to do it. Kasi ako at the time, araw-araw pumapasok ako sa review center. I do lahat ng tasks. I do all of the tasks. I guess you could see that if there's a spectrum, ako yung sa gitna. Kasi may mga tao na paligoy-ligoy lang. Gusto lang na kung kailan lang trip pumasok sa review center, doon lang sila papasok. And then you have these people on the other side of the spectrum. Talagang after ng review center, they will go through their notes, magbabasa pa, they would find more information. Talaga sila pa mismo yung hahanap ng more information, reference sa books, and more study materials. Just talagang magsa-study sila. Ako after review center, pagod na ako eh. Gusto ko na mag-chill muna, pupunta ng mall, kakain, prepare sa bahay, etc. etc. My review center was 8 to 4 p.m. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So, understandably sa akin na napapagod ako. Gusto ko din maglaro sa computer eh. Pero despite all that, I know through myself na pagkatapos ng review ko, all throughout the review center period before ng PNLE, alam ko sa sarili ko na kaya kong ipasa yung nursing licensure exam because ginawa ko lang lahat na kailangan kong gawin. Although I did initially aim to reach for the top, parang duda na ako na hindi ako magtatap kasi alam ko yung the effort that you need to reach the top is way different from when you need to pass. There's a big difference, guys. Which brings me to my next point, which is discipline beats talent. Now, it's quite common. I think this is very true sa lahat na nursing schools. Talagang may mga classmate tayo, may mga tao tayo na like in our life na nakasabay natin during our school years na talagang matalino. Like, they're just batshit genius. Talagang they are just batshit genius. Mapapakamot ka na lang sa ulo mo tapos sasabihin mo, paano nila nagawa yun? Ba't parang ang dali lang sa kanila tapos sa akin ang hirap. Pero sila yung more of the outlier than the group rather than the common group. Sila lang yung, at most, siguro 5 lang sila sa buong batch nyo or 3 or maybe even just 1 person sa inyong batch. Just, ang talino niya talaga. But like, that's disregarding all of the people sa buong nursing program nyo. That mentality na buong sa batch nyo, buong nursing batch nyo, there's like 99% of people that's, let's just say, they really have to put in the work. Rather than yung tao na parang may photographic memory na palaging top sa exam. They also put in the work, but kung titingnan mo, parang not as much as you have to. But this is also where discipline beats talent. Sure, mas mataas yung chance nila mag-top sa board exam. Pero if both of your goals is to top the board exam, the person that is more disciplined, yung talagang nagre-review, pumapasok sa review center, yung study materials niya, uubusin niya talaga yun, gagawin niya talaga yun, and just really churn in the time and effort to review para lang makatap sa board exam, chances are, magtatap din siya. Hindi, well, I don't have the numbers to back it up, but like, you could see it from time to time. Yung taong talagang disiplinadong magtatap sa board exam that really aims to top the board exam and puts the necessary effort, talagang magtatap sila sa board exam. And lesson number 5. This is coming from a person that is not so smart. Coming from me, you probably not know me from the person that's watching this on the other side of the camera. I am not that smart, pero I have a laude. I will not tell you what. Pero guys, this is coming from a tamad person that manages to be one of the top persons sa kanilang batch. Again, I hate to say that. I don't want to say it as a kind of flex, but like parang this is from my point of view para may reference kayo. For me, another tip is not knowing everything is okay, but you have to know the fundamentals. And of course, sasali mo na lang din dyan yung test-taking strategies mo, especially when it comes to nursing licensure exam. Now, going back from my time, I'm saying this parang sinabi ko, I sound like an uncle, bro. I'm not that old. Pero at the time, relatively speaking, me before posting this video and the time that I was taking the nursing licensure exam dito sa Pinas, may mga news na magbabago yung nursing licensure exam. There will be a new generation of nursing licensure exams. And at the time of recording this video, I think it was just last year. Hindi ako sure kung last year siya, 2024, or just this year may umupo na bagong board of nurses. And I think sila din yung in charge sa paggawa ng examinations. So, the thought of being a new generation PNLE is there ever since pa sa amin. And the thing is, there's just so much information sa nursing na it's almost impossible to master all of them unless it's your job. Pag nasa review center, at kita mo naman yung mga reviewers nyo, ang gagaling nila, di ba? But it's their job. You as a student or a new grad, it's okay to not know everything. But provided that you know your fundamentals and you trust your skills to know your fundamentals and your test-taking strategy. What do I mean by fundamentals? Yung review of systems nyo. Like, for example, when it comes to med-surg, which is the bulk of the topic, like 80% of PNLE is just med-surg topics. So that's pulmonary, cardiology, endocrine, cancer, GI, integumentary, etc., etc., etc. All of those, as long as you know how that works, how the disease process works, you're going to be fine. Kasi yan yung magiging map nyo on how to take on the PNLE. And also, couple that with your test taking strategies. Like sa options pa lang, malalaman nyo na kung which is wrong, which is probably wrong. That will lead you to the right answer. In cases na hindi mo alam kung how to get the right answer, I swear, those will bring you to so much lengths talaga if you just know your fundamentals and your test taking strategy. That being said, wag kang tamad-tamad sa pagre-review. Now, next tip sa PNLE is half of the battle is not the knowledge part of it. It's actually the mental part of it. What do I mean is the more stressed you are, the more likely that you will forget something sa PNLE mo. To those that don't know, PNLE is a 2-day exam with 500 items. So if hindi ka marunong mag-answer ng 100 items a day, what more if it's a 300 item a day? Mapapagod ka nun. For even taking PNLE, your endurance sa pag-exam should be relatively okay na. Because half of the battle is yung mental load of your focus to complete the exams. Because the first day is 300 items siya. So the power, you have to push through the entire day na hindi ka mapapagod reading the questions. Kasi you have to read the question, you have to find the right answer, you have to find the choices from the answer, you have to shade yung anxiety mo pa sa shading part na dapat hindi siya sumobra, dapat hindi siya masyadong malapsaw or hindi siya masyadong maitim sa pag-shade mo. All of those will give you anxiety. And like all throughout the time, nagpipick ka ng answers from question number 1 to question 300. Kung hindi ka marunong mag-manage ng focus mo, talagang mapapagod ka. It's a mental game. And that's why I would say half of the battle is a mental game kasi you have to manage your focus. And with that thought in mind, a small amount of anxiety is actually a good thing. There is also a theory where there's para siyang graph where too much anxiety would be too hard and would cause you to just perform very bad. And there's also a level where if it's too low of an anxiety, it would cause you boredom na naman. You won't excel in that activity. So you have to find the middle ground of a good amount of anxiety for you to reach that state. Sometimes, I guess tinatawag tong flow state if I remember correctly.
So this is actually called the Yerkes-Dodson law. It's a psychological principle that states performance increases with mental arousal or stress, but only up to an optimal point before dropping off significantly. In psychology, arousal refers to a general state of readiness and alertness, driven by factors like excitement, focus, or mild stress, not just feeling nervous or anxious. To keep it simple, boredom may lead to poor results, and excessive stress can lead to mistakes. A healthy balance boosts focus and efficiency.
Basta, the whole thing is anxiety, yung feeling ng kaba, just not too much. Try nyo kontrolin. A little bit of anxiety will really help you throughout the exam. It keeps your focus. So during the exam, focus is everything. Kasi the first part is 300 items. It's also not a good idea to lose momentum. The second day, you still have 200 items left to answer on the second day. Huwag ka mawala ng focus on the day 2. Which brings me to my last point. Goodness me, people, please get some good rest. Matulog ka na maaga. I did say earlier na half the battle is a knowledge game and the other half is a mental game. Pero may isa pang aspect na kailangan mong makomplete. That's your energy. You have to manage your energy. Kasi pag wala kang kinain, wala kang proper na tulog, how do you expect to top the board exam sa taong may tulog at saka maganda yung kain nila? And tapos, mas mataas pa yung knowledge nila kaysa sa'yo. Most definitely, hindi ka talaga makakakompete. It's not being na theory of being an athlete na dapat magaling ka dyan. Pero you have to condition your body kasi mapapagod ka. Especially ngayon na init tsaka yung ulan and like, especially yung Philippine weather na hindi mo mapipredict kung uulan or you guys should be happy kung the aircon yung exam site nyo. Kasi I have heard some sites na walang aircon at ang init. So, that will definitely affect your performance. Not only your focus, but also your energy. The distractions, yung pagod ka, yung pawis ka. Can you imagine, like, nagsishade ka, tapos biglang yung pawis mo pumatak dun sa answer sheet mo? Like, like, sayang. Overthink malala. Baka hindi tanggapin ng machine yan. I'm not here to give you fear or to make you overthink. Pero, yeah, just condition nyo yung sarili nyo. Not only mentally, with the knowledge as well, but also energy. And, syempre, dali mo na lang din ng trust with God, you know. If you're a Christian, yeah, do what you can to pass the board exam. Kasi pinaghirapan mo yan eh. Imaginein mo, 4 years ka na nasa nursing school and then there's just 2 days of exam. So, kunin mo, get that license. You guys got this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. PNLE tips and tricks. And I guess to the people that will be watching this video, advance congrats sa inyo. I'm pretty sure napapasa na kayo because why are you on YouTube? It's okay. Distractions are okay. It gives you a little bit of chill time kung nakikita niyo ito yung video na to. But also, if you're already taken the PNLE and you're watching this video, also congratulations. As long as you guys did the things that I have said, the chances of you passing your PNLE is pretty high. And to that, I welcome you to the nursing world. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya. Ang hirap mag-record na ko. Nabubulol ako. Anxiety is already getting me.